To kick off very quickly, if I look at the theory of evolution, I love this. Humans have taken millions of years to evolve. Some are still evolving. Some have got a long way to go still. And it's taken a long time for biology to really adapt to our surroundings. Then look at technology. Start from the spears, hammers, arrows. We went to machinery to help us tailor and tame our environment to our need. And that took decades, hundreds of years, tens of years to evolve. And that speed of evolution is increasing. If you now take digital evolution, that is changing at a rate that's incredible. We used to think in decades for digital. We started thinking in years, and now we're thinking in months. Literally, a good idea today gets brought out, everything gets put together, it's tested, and it's put into the market within months. So what does that mean? It means that what we have, the tools that we have, the way we approach business, the way we solve problem now is incredibly fast. We can solve problems not in terms of decades or years, but literally in months. And this is what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about the evolution of IoT. Now, if you think about where IoT started off by being a nice fad, if you think about it 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where we have devices that were, oh my God, they're talking to the web, they're talking to the internet, it's connected. But that was it. It was a nice to have, it was a toy. We did it because we could. But what we found over the last so many years, over the last so many months, is that fad has turned from a nice toy to a nice to have, to a must have, to being a hygiene factor. If you think about the Maslow pyramid of needs, from the basic functions, IoT devices, IoT technology, IoT services are now becoming a very basic critical need. Just think of an ERP for a large enterprise, where 20 years ago, ERP was an expensive journey to go through. Now it's a bread and butter, it's a 101. You're running a large corporation, you need a tool to run your business. And this is exactly what we're finding with IoT right now as well. So we look at it into these 4 levels of evolution. Of course, everything is B-central. I will come back, B-centric. I'll come back to why the B in a second. But I want to talk to you about how we see the evolution of logistics. We see it in 4 levels. The first 2 levels, 1 and 2, are very much around the operational level. I've got a problem today, solve it. My hair's on fire, put it out for me. I've lost my container. I don't know where my shipment is. Is my shipment safe? Is the temperature right? I'm shipping COVID vaccines around the world. Are they going to be there on time? Are they at the right temperature? Those are, for the lack of any better words, hair on fire problems. These are level 1 and 2. Then we go to level 3s and 4s. Once you've got that operational level in place, once you've got that basic hygiene factor, how do you leverage that? How do you go from a nice to have to a fantastic value add? So first of all, the operational one is a needle in the haystack. How do you find those 1 container out of the 10,000 you're shipping worldwide? How do you find that 1 bag of grain of rice that you've shipped in Africa that's delayed somewhere? Once you found that and you know how to deal with it, what you do with the rest of the haystack, all that data, that's where level 3 and level 4 come in. So let me take it into a bit more detail. Level 1 is where just about every company is in right now. If you look at the schematic, we're talking about the chain of custody of your goods, from left-hand side on the top, left-hand side to the right-hand side, from the shipper right the way through to the consignee. From the time that you give your shipment, your goods to somebody to carry, to the point where it gets to the destination, there can be multiple handover points. So maybe your freight forwarder gives it to a carrier gives it to a warehouse takes it to another carrier, it goes into a shipper, a plane, a train, an automobile, and then it goes up to your freight, to a customs place, and then it goes all the way up to your final destination. That broken chain of custody becomes very difficult to manage. And you guys know this. To get information, you have relied on phone calls, emails, knowing people are there, people are physically in the warehouses, you do a run around to find out where your things are, especially normally it's an emergency. What COVID showed us was suddenly from February, March, everybody's at home. Very few people are in the office, very few people out on the road, and getting information became critical. You think, oh my God, we need that information to run our business. What we didn't have before was the ability to find that information. Now, what you get with a level 1 is in the green box. You get some paperwork on sign off, en route, if it's received at the customs, if it's in transit. What you don't get are the information in the red. If it's delayed, have your shipment been broken up? Is it in customs? What's your ETA? What condition is it in? So I'll take a pause there just very quickly. I want to take a poll. So I've talked about the levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Quick poll, you can see on your screen there. Where are you in your digitization strategy? Are you not started? You're thinking about it. You're considering, you're still working with manual processors. And that's what the vast majority of customers are. Are you in your planning stages? So you started thinking about it, investigating, you're talking to some vendors, or you already, oops, we've lost the poll. I'm not sure if you can still see the poll. Maybe you can bring it back up. We'll check that. So the third one was, are you already implementing? And the third one is your solution has been deployed already. So we'll leave it on for another 5 to 10 seconds. If you can answer that, and I'll pick up the results in a few minutes, just to get a feel for where everybody is in their journey right now. Okay, and I think we should be good now. So thank you, and we'll come back to the results in a second. So this is level 1, and you can see there we go. Most people are investigating the market, which is great. Just under half of the people are. A third haven't started yet. 20%, 22% are implementing. Nobody has a full solution deployed, which is worrying. I'll be honest. Okay, thank you. Now, if you look at the level 1, who provides that kind of visibility? It'll be people like your freight forwarders, your freight aggregators, and your EDR aggregators. You know the names there, your suppliers, your DHL, your FedEx, doing fantastic work, a lot of information there, but they provide you that visibility for that part that they manage. Or it could be your freight aggregators, your Flexport, your Aramex, your Kuehne+Nagel. They will pull some of that data together, or some EDR aggregators will pull some of the data together, but still quite broken, quite disjointed. Enter level 2. Level 2 is where Rombi really sets his mark, and I will come back to who Rombi is afterwards. What Rombi provides is provide you that thread across that chain of custody. Just imagine a wire that runs from a thread that runs from the shipper right the way through the consignee. That thread tells you what's happening to your shipment, where it is, what state it's in, and what's happening. Your full cargo IQ. And that's fantastic. Now you have actual departure, actual arrival time. You have delays, ETAs, live condition is logged. You have the last mile ETA. All that really deep information, you have that at hand. You do not need to make 15 phone calls to DHL. You don't need to call the guy in the truck that's taking the last mile in South Africa somewhere. You can tell from your system, your system knows. And maybe your system talks back to you. It's integrated into your ERP and your TMS system, give it that real life. What you still do not receive are the bits at the bottom. Is it actually at the airport? Is it in customs? What are the real cargo IQ milestones it's at? What vessel is it on? Is it actually on the flight it was supposed to go on? Is it missed a flight? Is it actually on the ship it was meant to, or is it not? So the kind of level 2 people are providing, of course, Rombi is in there, but you can see some of the other names in there. And I will speed up a little bit because I want to make sure I leave enough time at the end to go through the question and answers. This is where Rombi picked up. Rombi realized that this was an absolute niche. And what you can see on the screen there are some screenshots from a real life tracking of a shipment, one shipment. The yellow line with all the little dots is showing you the GPS location. And the red line there showing you the battery, for example. But what if you want to check other things like, has it been tampered with? Has somebody tried to open up the container? Did you want to look at the pressure? What about the temperature? What if you could log every single bit of that data? That's exactly what we do. Then you have IoT devices that are traveling together with your goods, with your shipment, either a container, a pallet, a package, or an item, and telling you exactly where that package is and the condition it's in. But what if you didn't have to go for all that? What if you had a single screen? That single screen could tell you all your cargo IQ and your ocean IQ milestone, for example. This is level 3 now. So at level 3, you get your sensor data, but also curated data. i.e., you take data from different sources, you bring that all together to give you a very rich piece of information. Now, some people are thinking, guys, I'm still on level 1 here. You're on level 3. It's a very, very short sprint. Hence that first slide about the evolution of IoT. From going to level 1 to level 3, we're not talking months. We're not talking years. We're talking months. This can be very, very quick. And you can see the kind of data you get, of course, from the sensor data in the top bracket of the green blocks, and what you get from the curated data as well. Things like, just imagine electronic proof of dispatch and electronic proof of delivery automated for you. What if you could just have one screen? You put on, you go online, one screen, you type in your away bill number or your consignee number or some information in there, and it pulls out all your cargo IQ, origin, waypoint, waypoint 1, 2, 3, destination, origin, waypoint, everything gets given to you. So you know exactly what's happening. Extremely powerful for you. And then we move to the next level. This is now level 4. Level 4 is when we start mashing up data. What if you could take your sensor data, other sensor data, maybe your freight forwarders data, aggregators data, traffic, information, cargo IQ, your own platform data, your own company data, products, categories, seasonalities, all that information, mash that all up and provide you with a digital twin. And this is exactly where everybody's going to now. This is not a nice to have, it's not a fancy thing. These products are in the market. There are some companies that are already testing them. They are going to be GA out during this year and beginning of next year. What if you could create that digital twin of your whole supply chain? At any one time, you could say, let me know, traveling from Mexico, Monterrey, through to Singapore on a Saturday night, what would that look like? Is that going to be delays? Are there mesh spoilage? Who are the best providers for that route? What are my typical ETAs? Where are the roadblocks? Where are the miles? What are the hotspots? What if you could take all that data and manipulate it and not just look at reactive analytics, but do proactive predictive? Actually, we're looking at our supply chain. We can see what the constraints are. We can see the bottlenecks. We can see the hotspots. We can start planning accordingly. You've just come from level 1, level 2, finding the needle in the haystack. Where are my goods that have problems and I have to keep an eye on? Move that, take the whole haystack now. This is what this is. All your data, which belongs to you. And it's not a piece with a carrier, a piece with an aggregator, a piece with customs. It's your data. You've collected all that data. You have all that data. Now you start really squeezing and get value out of it. That is level 4. And as an example here, this is what Rombi is providing for our customers. We're providing this experience called Swarm AI. So who are we? Who's Rombi? As Martin said at the start, we are almost a startup. We are a bit old now. We are 6 years old, going into 7. I would have said we were a scrappy, let's get everything done for the first 4 years. For the last 2 years, we've matured. We're now a mid-sized company. We have offices in 9 geographies. We serve companies globally in almost every industry that moves something, either moves or have assets. We provide use cases in all the things you can see for in all the diagrams you can see there. So if it's multimodal, if it's in pharma, cold chain, if it's spoilage monitoring, damage monitoring, trailer, container security, inventory management, we provide solution in all of these. Why is this important? These use cases have evolved depending on based on customer needs. We've been driven by very much of our customers, where initially it was very simple. Let's get the best mousetrap. Let's get the best device that will give you the best data. We did that. What we realized was that the device in itself was fantastic, but what was critical was the use of the data. Once you get that data, what do you do with it? Great, I know my container is in Singapore right now. What does that mean? Is it on time? Is it ahead? Is it going to be delayed? Is it in the right condition? Is everything going well with it? This is where the platform becomes really important, which is why we've updated our solution. We've migrated and evolved our own solution to become a platform of choice for real-time visibility. And to give you some examples, some screenshots of what that looks like, on the left-hand side, we're talking about the operational excellence, the needle in the haystack. These are levels 1 and 2. So level 2, in fact, where you take our devices. So if you're tracking your assets, you can look at one asset in a country, a geo, into a zone, into location, and you can look at that asset. How long has it been there? Is in the right place. So you can do full asset monitoring. You don't lose your stuff. And if you look at the bottom screen, we saw that earlier on, this is the in transit. So you can track at a specific item, where that item is at any one point and what condition it's in. Now, just imagine if you're sending 10 shipments a week, a month, fine, you can track every single one of them. What if it's shipping 10,000 of those, 100,000 a month? You don't want to be looking at all of those. You want the system to tell you the ones that are in problem. Tell me the ones where the ETA has now gone up by more than an hour. Tell me the ones that have a route deviation. The route is, it goes from London to Manchester. It had to take this motorway, but for some reason, it's on a different motorway. And as soon as it goes outside of that route by X, let me know. These are very important information. Your container or your shipment has stopped for more than an hour outside of a geo where it should be, or zone it should be. It's not in the custom, it's not at the port, it's en route, but it's stopped for more than an hour. Maybe something's going wrong with that. Let me know. This is all the optional excellence on the left-hand side. Let me know, find that needle in the haystack. And on the right-hand side, we're talking about strategic excellence, level 3 and level 4. You take the whole haystack, you put that all into the BI, the data analytics, the AI tool that we have to really start getting real analytics. So the bottom quadrant you can see in there, that is a network level analysis that we've performed for one of our customers in India, in this case, where we're giving them hotspots, temperature hotspots. Now just imagine you're shipping COVID vaccines worldwide. Fantastic. And there will be millions and billions of transactions going around. What if you could, after a week, a few weeks of transacting, start looking, where are your hotspots? Where are the most delays? Where are the places where the temperature tends to creep up more? And you could then take action onto those. So you can become very preventative rather than reactive. We've been doing this for a while now. We have over 300 companies that we service. Some of them were point solution that we did at one point. Some are existing customers that we're doing a lot of work for, but supplying in just about every industry and every geo, as I said earlier on. That was it. That was a very quick whirlwind tour to explain that IoT in itself as a solution is evolving rapidly. We've come to the point now where it's commercially and technically a very viable solution. And if you haven't done your homework yet, please do it. And you need to get on the bandwagon because it's already running at speed. Thank you. I will pause there and